Good morning, everyone. Let's get ourselves centered. Hi, everybody. Give me just 1 second while I open up this iPad so that I can see your comments.
Hey, Keychain.
One of these days, I'll have this totally figured out. But right now, we're still trying to get it figured out. This iPad. Here we go. One of these days, I'll have this totally figured out. But right now, we're still trying to get it figured out. This iPad. Okay. I think we're doing it. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning. Trying to make it so that everybody can hear me, see me. I think we are doing well. Good morning, Pam. Okay, let's see if I can get you just a little closer. Let's see if that works. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Just trying to make sure you guys can see my mat as best as possible. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning, guys. Oh, that's why. My whole camera was like not against the wall. I'm like, what is going on? Let's see if that's a little better. Not so crooked. Hello, hello. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. Perfect. Okay, so let's start off the morning, not sponsored, but if you guys have not tried this new Alani Witch's Brew and you are a fan of caramel apple, let me just tell you that this is so good. So good. I bought one because, you know, I got TikTok influenced and then I had to go back and buy another 3. So that's what I'm drinking this morning. So cheers, guys. We're going to get our energy going. All right. Now, as you can see, this morning we're going to be working on the bubble effect. If you've never seen the bubble effect before, I'll show you a couple different examples of how we've done it. Then I'm going to run through what we're going to need to accomplish the goal, and then we're going to make it, okay? Does that sound great? All right, so let me show you a couple different examples. We have the blue moon where you'll see we did the black in the middle and some blue on the outside. And here is what it looks like. You can really see just the little craters and bubbles, that beautiful blue mica on there. So that is kind of the goal we're going to try to accomplish this morning. I've done it on different shapes. So this one is the square shape that I did it on. I've done it as the cauldron. You can see the like bubbles here in the cauldron were done. And then I added some purple mica into it. We've made it on a couple different circles with a couple different colors. This is like a black and maroon, and I added a couple stars in there. Here is the orange coppery one. I love this one for fall. And these are great little easy keychains to make that don't have to be personalized. So if you're planning on doing an event where you want to have pre-made things, these are going to be perfect. Okay, and the last one we've done is this beautiful heart one here. And for the little green flakes and stuff, we used this one right here, this Ocean Chameleon Flakes from AB Design Co. One of our lovely followers ordered that for us and sent it to us, and it turned out stunning. So for today's project, we are going to be working on the circle, the 2.5-inch circle, and I'm going to try to use this beautiful, it's called Fierce, and it's kind of like a purpley blue tones. So I think this one will look really good. We're going to give this one a try and see how it turns out. Good morning. I know, Pam. I cannot wait to hear all about your teaching adventures. I'm so excited for you. Okay, guys, so that's what our goal is, and that's what we're going to try to achieve today. So let's get started. I'm going to go through really quickly kind of some of the different materials you might need for this project. Let me put all these ones over to the side. So you're going to need an acrylic blank. Obviously, you can get it at 3rd degree laser, and we're going to use some upgraded hardware today. This is the one with the chain. Now, when you order your acrylic blanks, they come with the loop and the small jump loop, but if you like the one with the chain, we offer those as well. And I think for this particular project, I think the chain one's going to be the best because I don't want to add beads or anything like that. Okay, what's next? So we are going to need some UV resin. We're going to need a little cup. We're going to be using some black paint, some black acrylic paint. This is just your cheap, like 50-cent paint from Walmart. And then we're going to be using some black mica powder from our site. We're going to need a straw, either a paintbrush, and today I'm going to try to do it with some Q-tips instead of the paintbrush, so we'll see how that works. You're going to need a silicone brush of some sort, and a couple added extra things, maybe a brush rest, a pen, a weeding pen. You're going to need some sandpaper. This is 220 grit, or 240 grit actually. Any like high grit of sandpaper will do great. You're going to need some needle nose pliers. You're going to need that mica powder that is an alternative color to whatever your base is. So if you're going to do your base as a green color, like this one, then you would need an alternating color. So we're going to do black, and then we're going to do this beautiful purpley blue color. I picked up the wrong one. This fierce purpley blue color. And let's see, you're going to need a bowl, maybe some paper towels, some water, a drop or two of some dish soap, and yeah, that's about it. We are going to add vinyl on the other side, but when we get to that part, we'll talk about that. So this is what you're going to need for this project. Kind of a little bit of things, but all of it should most likely be around your house. You shouldn't have to buy most of it. And if you're a crafter, you probably have all of it and more. All right, let's take all of this off of our table here and get started. Oh, the one thing I did forget was a paper plate. Let me see if I have one in my drawer. If not, we can always just use a paper towel for today. Yeah, we'll just use a paper towel for today. Okay, so we'll just take 2 paper towels. It's just so that my mat doesn't get too soapy. And we'll just put our acrylic blank right on top of that. Perfect. Good morning, TG. All right, now we're going to take our weeding pen, and we're just going to go right under the surface of the brown paper here. So right under the surface, and that will be able to be peeled off now. So we just peel that back. Perfect. Now our acrylic blank is exposed. We can see the clear acrylic, and we'll be able to start doing what we call the bubble effect. So we're going to put this kind of just to the side for right now, and we're going to work on our mixture, our UV resin mixture. Now I am using the beautiful UV resin from Resin Rockers, and like I said, black paint from Walmart and mica powder from 3rd degree laser. Now I don't need too much. We're going to put a very thin layer of UV resin on this, so a little bit goes quite a long way. Probably going to do about maybe 3 to 4 milliliters, not very much at all, almost just covering the bottom. And I'm not going to actually add any glitter into this layer. I'm just going to keep it the blackish color. I think that all the glitter is going to come from that beautiful mica we're going to paint onto it. Okay, so we've got our UV resin. I think that's going to be enough. We're going to add in our black paint. Now with paint, you want to make sure to shake it. A lot of us crafters hold on to things for quite a ways of time, and we forget that it settles. So make sure you shake any paint or any kind of product you're going to use when you have it sitting for a while. Make sure you remix it. Okay, and we're just going to use a tiny amount of this. So small that I don't even want to drop it in there. That might be too much. So I'm just going to drop a tiny bit onto my actual brush here. Hi, Julie. Hi, Ted. Welcome. All right, so just a tiny drop. Kind of treat this like you would food coloring. A little bit goes quite a long way. And you don't want to add too much, because if you add too much, what happens is it'll not cure properly and it'll end up being tacky. So always start small and then go from there. We can see that it's now tinted our UV resin here, this beautiful like soft gray color. Can we see that? So we're getting there. Now we're gonna add in some of that beautiful mica powder, which is gonna bring even a deeper coloring to this UV resin. A little bit of this also goes a long way. I like to refer to it as crushed up eyeshadow. So a little tiny bit on your brush here, and I just kind of tap it in. I don't even put my brush into the resin, so I don't have to worry about getting a bunch of resin off of it. I do always keep baby wipes on the side here so that when we're working, we can just kind of quickly clean up our stuff. Instead of having a big old mess at the end we have to clean up. Okay, so that's the black mica and the black paint. We've got those two going in right now. So that's what it's looking like. Let's stir it up and see how it looks. Now I will remind you that with mica powder, it takes a minute for it to like really melt into your UV resin. So give it a little bit of time to really stir it in. Make sure you're getting it off of the walls. If you're using the brush that you scooped it out of the like container with, make sure none of it's stuck on your brush. Just really make sure it's really incorporated into your UV resin here. Okay, I think we're doing much better. So here is where we're working with now. Now that I'm saying I wasn't gonna add glitter, I'm almost thinking maybe I should. I'm thinking of adding some, I think I have some like black glitter. Let me look. Yeah, I think this would look really cool. Like this is just like a black sparkly glitter. It doesn't have like a reflection of like rainbow or anything like that. So I'm just going to toss a little bit of this in there because, you know, glitter makes everything better, right? Hi, Marianne. Good morning. Thanks for watching, guys. If you could hit that subscribe button, I would be greatly appreciative. All right, so we're just tapping just the tiniest bit of that black glitter into our cup here. And let's stir it in. I think that's going to give it like more of a 3D effect versus being so flat with color. I think this will be really good. Okay. Okay, I think we're doing great. Perfect. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so here is what we're going to do. Now that we have this mixture made as well, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Before we start to add this onto our blank, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go even one more step with paint. I really want to make sure this is quite dark. And as you see, when I tilt it, it kind of becomes a little see-through. And I'm worried that it's not going to be as dark as I want. So I'm going to go ahead and add just one more dollop of that small black paint. I think we are good. We didn't add too much that first time. So I think we're good. Ooh, that was a lot. No, I don't want that much. Okay, so just again, a small amount on the tip of your brush here. And go ahead and stir that in. I think that little bit of extra boost will help just a little bit to make me feel more comfortable with the darkness of this black. If you hear my dogs in the background, I apologize. Usually they're pretty quiet, but they've been kind of rambunctious today. I don't know what their deal is. It's probably because they're together. Usually they're pretty separate, but my mother-in-law is out of town, and so they're like together 24/7, and they're kind of losing it. Okay, I think this is going to be better. We've got that darker blackish with the glitter, and next up we're gonna make our water / soap concoction. So let's take our little bucket, our little cup or bowl. We're going to add some water into it. Doesn't have to be bottled water. It doesn't really matter. Just water. Not too much. Just maybe, I don't know, just enough from the bottom there. And then we're going to take our Dawn dish soap or any dish soap you want and just a drop or two. We're not trying to go crazy. Let me put this soap over here so I can get it out of the way. Got it. Okay, and now we're going to take a straw and mix it all in. Just mixing that soap into the water. Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining in this morning. Okay, so now we've got some soapy water. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to try to make sure I can get this all on screen for you guys. So we're going to pull this boop, 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 back over into the screen. We're going to put our soapy water to the side now that we have that mixture created. And we're going to take our UV resin and put it right into the center of our acrylic blank here. Now, you don't have to add it all at once. As much or as little as you're comfortable with, and then we're going to spread it out. We want to create a small, thin layer, a thin layer covering the entire blank. So that is our goal, to just pull from the middle and push to the outsides as we create a thin coat of UV resin. Now, anytime you are working with UV resin, I do recommend that you put on a mask or the proper PPE that you're comfortable with. Unfortunately, I forgot, so here it goes. It's on now. All right, and if you need more, you can always add more. I just recommend that you put it into the middle, not like in the area you need it. That way you can really pull it out to the edge with your stick or your brush and be confident with how much is being put into those more intricate areas. Okay, just spreading it out. Perfect. Now I will recommend that you go around the edge one last time. Sometimes it seems to be that it likes to settle kind of in the middle there. So I usually will just pull it right around the edge to make sure it at least got evenly dispersed, and then it can pool back in the middle if it feels the need to. Okay, so now we have this beautiful coat of UV resin on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our bowl of water, and we also need to have our UV lamp ready because this is like a very quick process. So you want to have your lamp close by. You want to have it turned to the correct watts. I'm going to do 36 watts. You want to have it on and ready to pop on top of this right as soon as we are done with this next step. So be prepared. Okay, so we're going to blow into our bubbles here. And then we're just going to take our hand and scoop out the bubbles, and we're going to put those bubbles right on top here. Now, I don't want you to touch the UV resin, just kind of let them fall off your hand onto the blank here. The littler bubbles are going to create bigger divots, and you can pop it if you feel like, hey, that bubble's too big, and then we can blow again. And create some more bubbles, and again, we're just scooping it off and putting it on top, just like this, guys. And if you think those bubbles are too big, you can always pop them down and keep adding, okay? We're just gonna add a couple more that we've blown here. Okay. So next, let's pop a couple of these, make sure they fill in appropriately. We just wanna make sure the whole thing is covered. And sometimes those bigger bubbles don't give the best results if they're too big. So I'm just trying to spread this out as best as I can. Okay, perfect. So we've got a layer of bubbles on it. Now we're going to put the whole thing under our UV lamp here for the 2 minutes, guys. And let that UV resin cure. Okay, so we're going to have it under there for 2 minutes, guys. I'm also going to put my little lamp under, or my little stick under there as well, and let that warm up for 2 minutes, and I'll show you how we can clean it at the end. Okay, and then I'm just cleaning up any of this like soap that's all over the desk here. You can put your little cup under there as well if you'd like. That can be cleaned up, and I'll show you how we clean that up. Just get all this bubbly mixture off from our desk here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you, thank you. I know, the bubble method ends up turning out so cool at the end. So I will show you what it looks like as soon as it's done. We've got about 40 seconds left under the clock here. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you're brand new, we are, if you can see in the little hole, we're 3rd degree laser, and we are creating what we're calling the 3D bubble effect on an acrylic blank today. So come on in and join us, guys. We've got a couple more seconds under the lamp here, and we can see how the results turned out. All right, guys, let's take it out and have a look-see. I always am like, just trust the process, just trust the process. Now, if your lamp and your stick are not dry because we put them in a little bit late in the game, we can just put them back in off the side here, and I'll show you when that's done. Okay, so we're gonna take our blank. Now, I did put it on this paper plate or paper towel, and a bunch of it did spill over the edge here, so it's not a problem. We're gonna go ahead and rinse this off in the sense of I just patted any off, and don't worry about, like I said, this stuff on the side here. We'll be able to get all that off in just a second. All right. Okay. Ugh. See if I can get it off. Probably get it off better with my needle nose pliers. So if anything like that big spills over the edge, you should be able to just pretty much peel this stuff right off. Okay. I should have used a paper plate, but I was too lazy to go upstairs and get it. So now we deal with the repercussions. But you know what? That's what crafting is all about, is learning, you know? I'm not going to be the first or the last person to think, hey, I can just put that on a paper towel. So I love doing these kind of things because it kind of shows you guys that even if you make a little error or whatever, it's still totally fixable. Okay, perfect. We did it. We got all that little paper towel off of it. And now we can go ahead and take a look. Let's take a look. Do you see all those beautiful craters? Such a cool look. Okay, so this is what we are working with. Make sure you can see all those little craters. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Now let's talk about that stick in the cup. Like I said, you can clean your cup up. I just took it out from underneath the lamp. Give it a good squeeze, and you'll see that everything starts to kind of come off of the walls here. You can just go ahead and grab that, and the whole thing will come, will come out of your cup here, and you will be able to use your cup on projects in the future. So know that if you just put it under the lamp and let it cure, you can go ahead and use it again and again. Okay, now the same concept goes with your little silicone brush here. You can see it just comes right off, and you have a clean brush for our next project. Perfect. Okay. Now, the next step is we are going to go ahead and sand this down. You want to make sure that you don't have any lumps or bumps. This should be nice and a flat surface. So what I do is I just take my sandpaper and I just sand it I'm not pushing very hard. I'm literally just sanding it so that it's smooth, and it's going to hit whatever's sticking up on its own. So you're not going to need to really be pushing it that much. If it's sticking up higher than the rest, as you can see these darker white spots, then it's going to go ahead and sand that down to make it one smooth layer. Okay, so we're just sanding. You can also, if you have anything else left on that edge that we didn't maybe pop off, you can just sand it right off. See how there's a big chunk right there? Let's see if you guys see that, how it's kind of on there. You can just sand it. Perfect. Just move around. See how there's kind of some stuff right there? We can just kind of sand that down. And again, I'm using a 240 grit, so just any like really high grit sandpaper will work for this project. Okay, and I like to go around the edge just to make sure that it's kind of like I kind of curve my hand like this so that I'm making sure this edge is really smooth. Okay, so I think the sanding is doing good. I'm just gonna take like a baby wipe, a white paper towel. If you guys weren't with me, I would just go run it under some water, but I'll just do the baby wipe since you guys are here with me. Just getting into all those little nooks and crannies and trying to get out any extra sawdust, dust that we sanded off. Okay. Love the crackling sound. I know, right? Okay, I'll grab a fresh baby wipe. And we'll just clean our area one more time so we get any little resin that we sanded off out of here. And then one more time on our blank. She is looking fabulous. Okay, let me hold it up and you can really see. See, I don't know if you can tell, but it's very smooth now. There's no lumps and bumps. If you see sideways, there's no peaks, as I like to call them. They're all one layer. Okay, next we're gonna go ahead with that mica powder. Now, like I said, we're using the Fierce Chameleon Flakes, and these are from AB Design Co. And I've never used these ones before. I'm gonna put like a paper towel down because I have a feeling when I open these, there's gonna be mica like spraying out. So hopefully it'll land on this towel versus all over my mat. Thank you guys. Welcome in, everybody. Oh, these are so pretty. Let me see if I can show you. Stunning. Oh, it's got like this beautiful purpley blue green. Ooh, hi Bree, good morning. Oh, that color is so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to show you with the paintbrush, and then we're going to try it with the Q-tips because I've never done it with a Q-tip, but I have a feeling a Q-tip will work as well too. Actually, I'm going to open this up like this. Okay. So you just dip your paintbrush in and get some on your paint. This is just a dry paintbrush, and I'm just kind of getting some on my paintbrush here. And now I'm just going to push it wherever I want. Now, keep in mind where your keychain hole is. So my keychain hole is here. And I think I'm just going to do like a little bit on this side and a little bit on this side, similar to this one. So I'm going to do a little bit on each side like that and leave the strip of the like darker color in the middle, okay? So let's try. We'll try this side with the brush and we'll try the other side with the Q-tip. So I'm just pushing it into those cratery areas. Oh, these colors. These are stunning. Oh my God, I can't even. Okay, let's just do a little bit more up at the top here. And I'm really kind of like packing it on there, really pushing it into the little creases and crevices. And I feel like I'm using more than I need to, but I can probably just, I'm going to try to just like tap it back off. Nah, it don't matter. I think just brush off any extra. There really is no extra, honestly. Yeah, it's not really coming off. Look at that though, guys. Ooh-wee, holy moly. You see all that beautiful bluey, greeny, oh, look at it over here. See how it, when it hits a certain light, over here it's super purple, and then over here it's like super blue. So it just depends on how the light hits it, but ooh, she's looking good. Okay, so let's try it with a Q-tip to see if that works. I'm just trying to give you guys options so that you don't have to have all of these pieces, all these materials. So I think Q-tips will work as well. So let's just take a Q-tip in there. I'm gonna just put it on this side here. This one is like a big old flake. And I know these are, oh, there we go, it broke up. I'm like, I know these are chameleon flakes, but this little flake was not breaking up. There we go, I got it. Okay, just pushing it into it. bit more. It's a little bit harder to pick up on the Q-tip, but totally works. So if you don't have a spare paintbrush laying around the house, you can definitely use these Q-tips. And again, I'm just gently pushing it into the little creases and crevices. I actually really like the side with the Q-tips better. I don't know if it's the way the light's hitting it, but I might go over and add some more on the other side. We'll have to see. Oh, I think it's better with the Q-tip, honestly. Look at this side, and then look at this side. Like, I don't feel like it got as much. Let's take it over to the purple side. Ooh. Let me turn it and see if that makes a difference. In the lighting, I still feel like this side is much more vibrant. Okay, we're going to go back on this side and we're going to add some more because I feel like this side is lacking. So maybe the Q-tip is a better idea. Who knows? What do you guys think? Have you guys ever used chrome flakes like this? Do you usually use a brush? What do you usually use to put yours on? Do you just dump it on? Oh, don't laugh. I just sprayed it everywhere. I feel like the Q-tip really lets me push it more into all the little creases and crevices versus the little brush. Rub it in. Look at that. Yes, little rubbing motions does really good on it actually. Yeah. Oh, okay, I like that. I like that. Thank you for the suggestion. Oh, yeah, rub it in, rub it in, rub it in. Okay, I think we are good with the little chrome flakes. Again, this is the color Fierce. Beautiful color. And let's just tap it off so we don't have any extra flying around. You guys, this is so pretty. Fold this up gently so we don't get this everywhere. A quick little wipe down all the chrome flakes. Oh, she's chroming. She's chroming all over. It's all over. Okay, let's take a closer look. Mini lip brushes. They are foam. Oh yes, like the little eyeshadow foam brushes. Yeah, like the Q-tip one worked so good. Look at those colors. So over here, like I said, you've got that more bluey color. And then when I pull it over to this light, look at that beautiful purple color. Purple, blue. So stunning, guys. Oh, our little moon is coming together. It's so cute. Yeah, I think it really pulled the color in so much more. Okay, guys, we're putting that mask back on, and we're going to go ahead and add a coat of UV resin right on top of all of this. We want to seal in that beautiful chrome flakes, and we want to make a nice, smooth, glossy coat without any divots. Now, I will tell you that this process, it does take a little bit of extra UV resin because it has to go into all those little nooks and crannies. But I say to start small, and then you can always go and add more when you need it. So just add a little bit. You can spread it out. And then if you need more, you can always add some more. You just want to make sure you're really getting it into all of those craters, and not just getting it in there, but getting enough in there that it will create that beautiful, glossy, smooth coat without any divots. So this is not the time to go cheap on the amount you use. You really want to make sure, because if not, and let's say you don't use enough, and then what happens is it's not smooth, then you're going to have to go and put another coat. So you're going to end up using more UV resin. So just be careful. Oh, on Amazon. Okay, Pam, I will have to go look. I don't do this technique very often, but that is a great idea, is those little what do you call them? Eyeshadowy lip foam brushes. That's such a good idea. In fact, you know what? The funny thing is I probably have some in my bathroom if we're being honest. All right, so I'm just going right around the edge one last time, making sure I didn't miss anything. And then I'm going to kind of look at it from the side angle. I want to make sure that it is smooth, that there's nothing that's sticking up above it, and that I don't need to make the dome even taller. So I'm just going to look from the side angle. I can see that there is a little bubble right here. I'm just going to pop it with my brush. Okay, let's turn it a little bit in the light if we can. All right, I think it looks pretty fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our stick and the blank here, and I'm going to start it at a lower watt this time. So I'm going to start it at a 15 watt. And what I found is that when you go with a lower watt of light and you start lower, and then you slowly ramp it up, especially on items that maybe have a thicker coat of UV resin like this, that you get a much better consistent cure versus sometimes it'll either be tacky, not finished, or it'll start misshaping the shape of the acrylic blank. So I like to start at a lower rate. I went for about 20 seconds there, and then I'll just slowly bump it up. I'll hit one more power up, give it a couple seconds, maybe 5-10 seconds, and then I'll hit the power up again, all the way until I get to my power that I usually do, which is 36 watts. And then even when I get to that 36 watts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit extra time than I typically would. So we're going to give it 90 seconds now that it is all the way up at that top temperature. And I can already tell by looking at it that it's not smooth, that it has a little bit of lumps and bumps, which is fine. It will show you, I'll show you how we can fix that. We'll sand it down, we'll make it perfect, and then we'll put one last thin coat on, and we'll have the best ever moon. So let's give this a couple more seconds for it to fully cure. It's got about 60 more seconds, and then we'll move on to the next step. Good morning, good morning. How has everybody's week been? We have been super busy over here. Last weekend we had our Labor Day sale, so all of those orders have shipped and gone out. We've done some work with resin rockers, so we've been making a lot of items for them. And yeah, it's just been a busy week over here. I watched the entire season of 8 of 60 Days In. I haven't watched that yet from last year, so I watched that this week. That was this week's show I watched. I'm still working on Veep. I've got about a season left of that. I think I just started the last season. I'm working on New Blood Dexter. I'm about 2 episodes into that new side show. Well, not new, but new to me show. Yeah, so we're just getting through it. I've been watching Big Brother. If you haven't watched Big Brother, it was an okay week. It wasn't phenomenal, but we got through it. All right, that's your reality roundup. All right, let's see how this bad boy is turning out. Now again, with your stick, you can go ahead and put it under your UV lamp and just pop off the clear UV resin once it has cured under your lamp. Let's take a look at how she's looking. It's actually a lot smoother than I thought. I don't think we're going to need another coat. I think it was just the illusion from the craters. But let's take a look together, guys. Look at how beautiful that is. See how you can see? I think there are still. See how there's some bumps right there? I think we can make this top a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then here, over here is that beautiful purple-y blue. Oh, I think it looks so good. All right, let's put another, we're going to sand it down, put our mask back on. I want to sand it down and make this layer flat again, and then we'll do one more coat of UV resin. Now, I know this part is scary. You may be thinking, oh my God, is she really scratching all that up? But don't worry, when you put that new coat of UV resin, you will not see any of these little scratches. We're just sanding it to get it super smooth. Okay, almost done. So you see how these areas are darker even though this part is all white? That means that those areas are still sticking up above this white area. So those are the areas you still need to sand until it becomes one consistent color. I'll show you as soon as I get there. Okay, almost done. Okay, now you can see that those darker areas are gone. You don't see that they're coming up anymore. So now we have this nice, beautiful, flat surface. Again, we want to wash it off, get any of that little craters stuff off. And you should be wearing your mask this entire time. You don't want to inhale any of this sandpaper or sanded resin. We don't want to inhale any of that. So make sure you're wearing a mask. Make sure you are taking proper precautions. Okay. So here is what she's looking like. It's nice and dull. It's got a nice even coat. It's nice and smooth all the way around. Okay, let's bring this beauty back to life with a little bit of UV resin. I can see there's some resin on my desk here. I don't want it to stick to the back. You want to make sure that you don't have piles of UV resin on your mat or anything like that, because when we flip over our blank and we're curing the back, that piece of UV resin will stick onto the opposite side, and then you'll end up with pieces onto your brand new clean side. So we don't want that. Okay, one more layer of UV resin right on top here. Now this coat can be super thin. It doesn't have to be thick at all. This is literally just adding a thin coat to bring that shine back to our UV resin. So this can be super thin. And the cool thing is, because it's so dull, you'll be able to see very easily if you miss somewhere, if it's not shiny. Hi Jennifer, welcome in, sweetheart. So I'm just pulling from the middle and spreading it out. Okay, and make sure you get those edges where we sanded it. Okay, she is looking so good. Now the last thing I will recommend is we can hit it with a little bit of heat. What that does is it pops any bubbles that might be right under the surface. But for this particular project, what I think it's going to do is it's going to thin the UV resin out just a tiny bit and really give it that ability to sorry, one second. I just like tossed UV resin everywhere. I don't know what happened. Like a little bit right here, and I don't want it to get on me. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit it with a little bit of heat. This heat will thin out the UV resin just a little bit so that way any lumps or bumps that may still be in there, we can go ahead and we can thin out. Sorry, there's a little bit running over the edge, so I'm just cleaning it up with my baby wipe here. We're going to hit it with a little bit of heat. Like I said, light it up here briefly right across it. We don't want to go too long. We don't want to catch this on fire. So just a little bit goes a very long way. We can look at it kind of from the side, a couple different angles, and make sure we are loving it. I can see a little bit on the edge here that's missing UV resin. Perfect. I think she looks so good. All right, let's see if this is the winner. We're gonna go ahead and put it under. Oh my gosh, never mind. I just got, sorry, 1 second. I just put a big old divot into it by dropping another keychain. The bottom of my lamp here is magnetic, and it magneticed another keychain to the bottom, which then just dropped inside of this one. So let me just check this out and make sure she's still good. All right, I'm gonna hit it with the like heat one more time because I can see a couple bubbles now. So let me just hit it real quick. If you need to hit it with the heat again, you can totally do that. I just recommend giving it about 10 to 20 seconds to cool down. That way, if it's still popping bubbles or if it's still quite warm, you're not putting it under the lamp at that temperature. You can see a little bit of areas, and sometimes the edge can be hard when you're layering resin like this because it is really curved. Okay, I can see a little area right here. And this is really your chance to make sure it is perfect, because once we put it under that UV lamp, we won't really be able to make any changes to it. So take your time, make sure you love it, and then once you love it, we can put it under the lamp. Okay, one last time with the heat, and then under the lamp it goes. Woo, perfect. Okay, we're gonna set our lamp at 36 watts for 2 minutes, guys. We're just giving it that 10-20 seconds to cool down before we go ahead and push go. Perfect. Now it can start to cure. How is everybody's week? I think I might ask that, but I really just rambled on about myself. Tell me, how did your week go? Did you have anything exciting happen? Did you have anything horrible happen? Tell me it all so that I can be part of your tea/circle. Let's see, what else have we got? My husband bought a brand new truck rack, so he's out in the humid Florida weather putting that on. He is soaking wet. And it's okay because it's going to look amazing when it's done. We're going to be able to put some ladders on our truck and things like that that we weren't able to do before. So that's exciting. He's excited about his new little toy. I think I might take a trip to Trader Joe's today. It's a good 45 minutes each way, and I'm just not sure if I'm down for it, but I might. We'll see if I go. If I do, I'll do a little haul on my story for what all the fun things I got. It is too hot today, Julie. And it's not even that hot, actually. It's just very humid today. It rained a ton yesterday. Our pool is like pretty much overflowing. I need to go empty it. But a lot of rain yesterday. Yeah, I think so too. I think that the temperatures have slowly started to drop because we were like in the high 90s for a while, and now we're in the like mid 80s. So I think we're slowly getting back to my favorite Florida weather, which is the 70s. Oh, Julie, I know that's like sucks because it's expensive, but also like how exciting. A new washer is always fun. I love new appliances. Okay, guys, we've got 10 seconds left under the clock, and then we can see how this bad boy turned out, and then we're going to decorate the opposite side. All right, let me just take a drink real quick. We are drinking the Alani's Witch's Brew. Not sponsored, but ooh, she is so good. If you like caramel apple, you need to check this one out, guys. It's so good. That's very hot, Julie. Yeah, Laura, I feel you. Texas is like a whole nother beast. Same with Cali. The good thing about California is that it cools off at night. Unfortunately, in Florida, it's like one consistent temperature all day, all night. So I do miss the temperature cooling off at night like it did in California, but I do love that it is so nice. The temperature here for 90% of the months are really, really good. So you give some, you lose some. All right, here we go. Oh, yes, a much glossier coat. We've got that beautiful blue, and then here is that purple over here. It's hard to show you. So good. All right, we're going to start decorating the opposite side. So we're going to take the brown paper off this side. Now, why I would recommend you leave the paper on this side as long as you can, because it's going to protect this side from any UV resin that may be spilled over. And as you can see, the paper will just pull off with the UV resin on top of it. So always leave the paper on if you can. That's going to give you the best results. Okay, perfect. Oh, she's beautiful. Look at that. So good. I love it. Here's the back. So the back is okay, but I want to make it better. And before we do that, I want to show you guys what happens if you fill your hole in. So I got a little bit of UV resin in there, and I want to show you guys, I don't know if you guys can see. Let's see if you can see. You can kind of see there's like a little cap on it. It's not all the way filled. You could still put your finger in it, but there's a little bit right here. So I'm going to show you an easy way to clean that up. It's called a bead reamer. Let me see if I can find it. Where are you at, Mr. Bead Reamer? Here we go. So it kind of looks like this. It's got a sharp tip here that's like a nail file, and then it's got like a handle down here. Now typically they come in a pack of 3. I don't know if I have. Oh, here's the other 2. And there's like a more beveled one, and then there's like a more triangle-y one. Actually, I think it came in a pack of 4, but I'm not sure where the other one is. But either way, the long stick one is what I like to use the best because it's tapered, which means it's thinner up here and thicker down here. So what I do, similar to what we did with the sandpaper, is I just kind of put it in, and I kind of use it like a little drill to start the hole. So just kind of drilling, drilling, drilling. You lost, oh no, Pam, but I'm so happy that you're going to be a teacher, Pam. Okay, so you're just going to kind of get in there and kind of start working it. Because it is solid, it's going to take a minute to kind of like sand through it, and we're getting there. I can see that it's slowly getting there. Now, if you own a Dremel, that's going to be a great option for this as well. You can just put your little Dremel tool and go ahead and clean the hole out. Sorry, it's taking a minute, guys. If this happened on a square shape, could you do this? Are you talking about, Laura, are you talking about, see how it's going through? See how it got through now? Are you talking about if the hole plugs up? Because the hole on all of our shapes is circle, no matter what. So you could definitely do this. Business card pieces you sell. Business card. Oh, are you talking about like the, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't imagine you couldn't use this. You could use this for, it's just basically a little file. So you could definitely go in there and file out for sure. I think that would work. Let me see. Let me grab it. I think I know what you're talking about. I think you're talking about these, so I just want to show you guys. Are you talking about these ones, the bottom pieces? Because, yeah, you could definitely just take this in here and work it out. It's basically just a file, a metal file. So you could definitely go into those little areas with it. That's absolutely doable. Okay, so I went through and I got all the stuff on the front out. Now I'm going the opposite way through the back just to clear this side of the hole as well. And again, I'm just, you know, moving it in and out, moving it around to the areas that maybe have more resin. And yeah, we're just filing away. Okay, and that is it. Let me clean it off so you can see what it looks like. Get any off my desk here that we might have spilled. Can feel little pieces of resin on here. Okay. Wipe the front off. Perfect. So now it's a totally clear hole. See? Perfect. Just try to get any little extra stuff off there we can. Perfect. Okay. All right. All right. We're getting there. Okay, so for the back here, I wanted to add another little element of design flair, I guess you would say, to it. And actually, I think that it's going to look cool on the front too. So what I'm going to do is I took our patterned vinyl. So this is the Bat Abduction patterned vinyl on our site. I printed it on our holographic material here. You guys can see it. There we go. On our holographic material here. And then I cut out the little circle. Now, when you buy our acrylic blanks, they do come with the matching SVG or Studio Cut file. So you can just upload this shape into your software and cut the exact size circle to fit onto it, okay? There's a little bit of resin down here, and I don't want that underneath my sticker. So I'm just trying to get that off if I can. Perfect. Got it. Okay, now we're going to take some transfer tape. Okay, and we're going to transfer this image onto our acrylic blank. We're going to make a keychain out of it, yes. Heather, no, unfortunately, I am permanently banned. If you go onto TikTok, I have a little video saying why, but yes, I am no longer allowed on that platform. So we're here now. And I actually am really enjoying being here. I don't know why my transfer tape's like not picking this up. There we go. Come on now. So the back of the holographic is this beautiful rainbow shiny. And I love that. I think that's actually going to shine through on to these and give it a cool effect with the moon. So let's see how it turns out. Yeah, I made a post on there, Heather. It's the last or second to last post I posted on there, and I need to pin it to the top probably, but yes, this is where we will be on Saturday mornings from 10:30 to noon every Saturday. And we're not doing Sundays anymore. At this time, we're just going to do Saturdays. Okay, so let's take our lovely patterned vinyl and place it onto our acrylic here. Perfect. Just go ahead and spread it out. Make sure it's all pushed down. Perfect. So here is what it's looking like. Oh, so cute. And look, you can kind of see the holographic through it. Look at the cool effect that created. Oh, I love that. That is so cool. All right. So last step we're going to do is we're going to add a clear coat of UV resin right on to the back side to seal this beautiful glitter in. I'm going to put it up here just so that I don't get anything on the bottom side that's so perfect. So we're just going to do it right on the top here. So just a nice dollop of UV resin And then we can take our stick and spread it out. So just pulling it from the middle, pushing it to the edges, and slowly spreading out that UV resin, making sure I have a beautiful thin coat covering everything. And I always remind you to go around the edges. Sometimes that's where it seems to pull away from. So always going right back around those edges. Perfect. It's looking so good. Can tell it's missing a little bit right here. Okay, let's hit it with a little bit of heat to see how it is working. Yes, Laura. So I sometimes will lift it off of a cup like this so that I don't worry about the backside damaging. You can also, if you are worried about it, you can always take Elmer's glue and put a coat of Elmer's glue on it, kind of like a little liquid latex moment between the finished project, so that if something does seal on it, it'll peel right off with that. I'll need to make a video of that so that you guys can see. No, I did not, TJ. I was so frustrated. That went right in the trash, and I was just like, I'm over it. That was a very hard day, and actually it took me about a week to just come back and be like, okay, you know what? It is what it is. You've got to move on. I try my best not to show you guys when I'm like in a bad mood, or like if I'm having a bad day. I'll either just not go live, or, you know, I won't discuss it. So I took that week to just kind of ingest everything and not be angry, so that I wouldn't be rant talking about how much I hated it for every day. But now I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It was time for a change, and I really like it over here on YouTube. I actually feel a lot less pressure than I did on TikTok. On TikTok, I felt like I was always trying to like keep up. And I don't want to feel that way. So I really like YouTube quite a bit now. Okay, so what we're going to do is I've got it all spread out. I'm going to hit it with a tiny bit of heat. This is going to pop any bubbles, as well as it is going to even the resin out. So it's going to go ahead and thin it out and let it lay super flat and fill any lumps and bumps or spots that I might have missed. I'll still recommend that you go in and, you know, make sure that there's nothing that you missed after you do the like heat. I think there's gonna need a little bit more right here. I feel like it just doesn't have enough. Okay, and that's okay to go back and add more. This is your time to perfect it. You want to make sure it's perfect before you put it under that UV lamp, because once we put it under that lamp, there's really not much we're gonna be able to do as far as correct any kind of changes or anything like that. So this is your time to really take the time and make it perfect. I'm just turning it a little bit so that I can see it in a different angle of the light. I definitely recommend that. That's when you can see maybe a little flaw that you didn't see in a different angle. She is looking beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the stick as well as the acrylic blank. We're going to put all of it under our UV lamp here for 2 minutes at 36 watts. Please be tall enough. Yeah, it's more than tall enough. Perfect. We've got tons and tons of room in there, guys, to put it on a cup like this. So, perfect. Let's see what you guys are saying. I love this. It's so good. Thank you so much, Riley. I appreciate it. This is new. This is why I love it here. Aw, thank you, Laura. You know what? Sometimes you just need like a fresh start. You need to take a deep breath and recenter yourself, and you know, it is what it is. You know, move on. Life is happening. Yes, Julie. I feel like when you put the UV resin on top, you end up with this almost like a three-dimensional outcome, and it really brings the project to life. Bye, Pam. Have a great day at work. Yeah, I just needed a moment, you know? You know that sometimes life gets the best of you, and then you start down like this very not so great path because you're like negative, negative, negative. So sometimes you just need a moment to like step back from reality, take it all in, ingest it, and realize that, you know, life goes on. It's not the end of the world, so. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, there's many benefits that I really like. I really like that it saves the lives. So if you're not able to watch the entire live, it'll be saved afterwards as well as it gets saved with the comments. I know that was like a big thing I was very upset about, that we didn't get to keep the comments. So this allows us to save the comments with the live, which is great. Yeah, you can watch it whenever you want. A lot of people have been saying that they really like that they can watch it on the big screen. So now my lovely voice will be coming through your TV. All right, we got about 10 seconds left under the clock here, guys. We're going to go ahead and add our keychain hardware to this bad boy and finish it up, and I'll be able to show you the finished project. Right, Riley? It's like one of those things, it's almost like traumatizing where you're just like, I have to walk away. All right, let's take a look and see how she turned out. Again, we can clean our stick, just pull off any of the resin that has now cured. Perfect. Clean all this little random stuff off the table here, and let's have a look at her. Oh, so good. Look at that beauty. I love that you can see the holographic through it. How freaking cool is that? And then over here, it's kind of more purpley. So good, guys. So good. Okay, so the very next step we're going to do, and almost our last step, is we're going to add our keychain hardware. Now, like I said at the beginning, if you're just jumping in, we do include the keychain hardware when you buy your acrylic blanks from Third Degree Laser. You get the jump loop and the large split ring. But if you like the one with the chain like this, we offer those as well. They're considered hardware upgrades. So if you like the chain ones, we do offer them. Sometimes I like the chain ones better on certain projects, and then other projects I'm like, I don't know that I like it. Okay, so we're just using our needle nose pliers to open our jump loop, and then we're going to put the end of the hardware upgrade onto the jump loop, and we're going to put the jump loop through our keychain here. Sometimes I have to do it by my hand. There we go. It's easier using your hand sometimes to get into a little place like that. Okay, and then grab it on both sides with your needle nose pliers, and you're just going to twist it together. They're going to line up perfectly, and we're going to have a beautiful finished keychain, guys. It turned out so good. Hang on, it's stuck on my finger. It turned out so good. I love, look at the little bats. You can see the bats in there. Oh yeah, there they are. So good. And here is the back. Oh, I love that little like sheen of holographic behind it. Makes it look three-dimensional. Here is it from the side, so you can see the thickness. Ah! And there it is, guys. That is what we were able to create this week. Now, if you were not with us last weekend, here is what we created last weekend. We created that Feeling Stabby badge reel. And here is the back and the back. And that's going to be it for us today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching us. If you loved today's tutorial, make sure to check out last week's tutorial for the Feeling Stabby badge reel. And make sure to head on back. We will be back live next Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I hope to see you guys there. If you liked what you saw, please hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you next weekend, guys. Bye, everybody.